What's happening, guys? Welcome back. We're diving back into another Arvon beer, and it's kind of a throwback for these guys and for myself. This is going to be Jurassic Haze, guys, which is a 7.3% ABV New England style IPA loaded with Vic Secret, Dorado, and Citra hops. I wanted to revisit this beer because simply, guys, I ended up loving Arvon from the first time I tried an Arvon beer. It was years ago, somewhere around 2017 or 2018. This was one of the first beers I had ever had from Arvon. I want to revisit this because I think their recipes have been refined. I can't prove that, but it seems like their mouthfeels and the way that their balance is in their beer has improved over time, and I think tremendously, just with trial and error. I could be wrong. Maybe they didn't redo the recipe. Maybe it's always been the same, but I do remember having this beer at Seven Monks in Traverse City back in 2018, and I looked at Untappd. I tried not to read anything else I said about it, but I did rank it a 4.39. Now, at the time, I was really into the hazy game, so was my system flawed at the time with ranking? I don't know, but the thing is, guys, I loved it from the moment I tried an Arvon beer, and this was one of the first, which is Jurassic Haze. Now, it's available through distribution, and this was now canned on January 31st, I'm sorry. Today's February 11th, so it's pretty super duper fresh. Not more than, 11 days or so. So, let's crack into this, see what we're working with. It's been a minute since I've had one of these. I'm revisiting it today with a proper review. And disclaimer, on this channel, I did review the double Jurassic Haze. You can look at that review if you want. So obviously the double version of this. Don't remember what I ranked it. I try not to look. I know you guys might think I'm lying or something, but I try not to look at prior rankings or ratings because it ends up flawing my current system, or I might be biased. So as I poured this, over-poured it for one. Murky, golden, delicious looking, bright yellow. Yeah, fluffy head sitting on the top. It's actually super sticky. Wow, that is a very tightly compacted creamy head that's sticking together, and it's almost like it's binded. Just kind of doesn't want to spill out of the glass. It's holding together very solid. But I already smell a burst of citrus and tropical vibes. But let's go to an official aroma. Hold on. Wow. Super green, hop forwardness. It's the signature I get from Arvon because their beers are so darn fresh when I taste them. So A for that, guys. It's a fantastic problem and I have my beers too fresh. Well, loads and loads of hops. It's green, it's young, and you can smell that sharpness in the hop quality. But boy, a little bit of like dank peaches and pineapples and apricots. Just the nicest, dankest, citrusy marriage going on there. It smells fantastic. I mean, I can't tell you how bright and citrusy and just stone fruity and tropical that is. It's just the perfect smell you want in a New England style at 7.3. It's so bursting with aromatics. Kind of like sweet honey pine too. I always say that in a lot of hazies. I get this sweet grapefruity honey pine. Smells absolutely delicious, and I mean that. Revisiting Jurassic Haze with a proper review. Cheers. Whoa. Wow. Super bitter. I did not expect that to be so bitter. It smells like it's going to be juicier. There is some of that quality on the front, but I get a lot of grapefruity pith and rind on the back end, coupled with piney bitterness, almost resinous, like West Coasty pine profile. Almost like a Shorts beer. But double West Coast style. I don't know, man. That is a ton of bitterness on this Jurassic Haze. Wow, I got to revisit this. Hold on. One more sip again. Very herbaceous, dank pine is the right word. It's not the fruit. The fruit is very dry. It's pith of the fruit. It's grapefruit pith. It is lemon rind. It is dry, dank cantaloupe. It is dry peaches. Not overripe by any means. And then you do, on the other end, have that tropical dank mango in there as well. Maybe some pineapple skin and like rind of the pineapple, the core of the pineapple. You're not getting that juicy overripe fruit. I do not recall this being so bitter. Like the piney, resinous, dank bitterness on the back end is very sharp. I don't know if it's drier than it ever was. It's, like I said, they've refined some of their recipes. I want a little bit more juiciness on this beer. That is quite dry and dank and bitter on the back end for being a New England style. Super dry. I will give them, they are one of the best at drying out New England styles. It's never going to tire your palate because it's so dry on the back end. But in this case, I wish it was a little bit more juicy with that, the bursting aromatics. I was hoping it'd be juicier citrus, juicier stone fruit. It's not. It's still so darn dry. It's a delicious beer. It's just, I wish it was a dash fruitier, and I wish that all those qualities that I'm getting from the rind and skin of the fruit were a little bit more attributed to the flesh of the fruit. I want a little bit more, and I like dry beers, guys. I love bone dry. This one is almost a step too far for bitterness and dryness on the back end without getting that nice burst of fruitiness on the front. So I don't know if this can is just too young and needs to mature a little bit, but the hops are very fresh, and you can. It's basically like eating a hop cone. I mean, you know, pine cone, hop cone, hops right out of the jar. You're eating it. It's somewhat that way. And I just wish it was a dash fruitier and brighter and juicier. But that's my gripe with them being world-class. This is world-class stuff at the end of the day. But I do think this might be slightly different than the original recipe from 2018. Because at the time, I would have looked for more juiciness as well. So I would have said that it was very bitter, or maybe a dash out of balance. This one is almost too overly balanced on the back end, being too dry and bone dry. One last final thought. It's grassy pine. It's very good. It sounds like this is such a bad review. I just wish there was a little bit more flesh of the fruit juiciness going on here. So with all that being said, I think it's actually too dry. It's a little bit too in one direction. I want more of that front end being sweeter and juicier. But that being said, fantastic dry New England style. It's probably the driest New England style I've ever had for being this haze bomb and all these nice hops that are loaded in here with being this hazy. It's the driest, most IPA-ish New England style I've had in a very long time, and I will say that's very possible that I'm right about this one, guys. So yeah, Jurassic Haze, it's freaking bone dry if you love New England styles with dryness and IPA vibes, which it is an IPA at the end of the day. You will like Jurassic Haze. Don't look for that juicy flesh of the fruit though, because that is not what this is here today. So where do I stand with this? Well, back in 2018, I ranked this a 4.39. I'm going to go ahead and lower my rating today. I do think the recipe's slightly different. Maybe Arvon can tell me if something changed, but my palate has probably changed as well. Today, I'm just going to go with a 4 out of 5 because, again, almost too dry. I'm burping up dry hop cones. Delicious, but a little too dry for me. I never thought I'd say that. So, Jurassic Haze, revisited. Thanks for being here, guys. I'm Dan. Catch you on the next review. Cheers.